Well, welcome back everyone. Bit of a different video today. For the past week or so, I've been really ill with some sort of virus, and I'm actually still a little bit ill right now. And I haven't really been able to get out to do much of anything, to be honest. And that time off has given me the chance to think about something, which I think has been on a lot of people's minds recently, especially in the YouTube sphere, and that is AI. Da, 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 da. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Everyone and their dog has made a video about AI, and that's true, so I thought I'd hop on the trend and milk it for a little bit more views. Nah, I'm only kidding. In all seriousness, it is a very real threat to my hiking channel and maybe some of the other hiking channels that you might watch on YouTube. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think that is the case and what we can all maybe do to limit the damage. So I think AI has been about for quite a while, but it feels like in the past couple of years it's got significantly more popular and a lot better at what it does as well. It's already started to take people's jobs, specifically in sort of admin and customer service roles. You see it at the self-checkout when you go to a supermarket and things like that. So we know it can take people's jobs, but I thought, and I think a lot of other people thought, that it couldn't do art, because art, you need that human touch, and a computer can't replicate that, but we all thought wrong. Now I've come prepared with some notes, and I'm going to tell you something that absolutely blew my mind when I saw it, and I did not know AI was capable of this. So, as I said, I thought, and I think a lot of other people thought, that it couldn't do art. It just couldn't make art because it's a computer. It doesn't have that human touch. But get this, AI is now creating art, and in 2018, so this was 7 years ago, an AI called GAN, Generative Adversarial Network, whatever that means, created a painting that was so realistic that it was sold for over $430,000. How mental is that? So the AI made this art that was so good that they actually sold it at auction, which is insane. It also makes songs. So there was a country song recently called Walk My Walk by an AI artist, called Breaking Rust, which went to #1 on the Billboard country song charts. That is insane. It also was top 10 in the iTunes charts for all songs, not just country, and top 50 on Spotify's charts. I mean, that is unbelievable. So it's making art and it's also making songs. So who's to say that over time it doesn't start to make long form content like hiking content or even films or something like that? I don't think it's quite capable of that yet. I think it needs to be sort of short videos, but who's to say that, another year or two down the line, it doesn't eventually get so good that it can make long form content and basically replace what this channel does. To me, that is pretty worrying because I put a lot of effort into these videos, and right now it is my main source of income. And if AI is just able to do what I do without putting in half the effort, then it's demoralising, but it's also a little bit worrying. And I'm going to go through a couple of the reasons why I think AI is a threat to hiking channels. The first reason is increased competition. So there's already so many videos of hiking and camping being put on YouTube every single day. I don't know the exact number, but I feel like there's an insane amount of YouTube videos in general being put on YouTube each day. The number 1 million springs to mind, but that could be completely wrong. You'll have to fact check me. But if there is AI videos being put up on top of real, authentic creators, then it just makes the competition even harder and harder, and maybe the authentic creators won't be able to keep up in the future, especially the fact that AI videos will be made easier and probably more frequent as well. So I think increased competition is going to become a pretty big problem. Not only is the competition going to be tougher, but the AI generated content is also going to be a lot better than the content I can produce. It's going to be more optimized for clicks, and it's going to be more extreme as well because they don't have to risk their life getting out in these adverse weather conditions or up a ridge or something like that. They can just generate it in a house on a computer, which is just insane to me. So in that case, authentic creators just won't be able to compete. Not only is there no risk involved for this AI generated content, but there's also not much effort put in, and also the time as well. They don't need to travel, they don't need to film the video, and again, they probably don't need to edit the content because I bet you the computer does that for them as well. So it means they'll be able to put out content a lot more frequently with a lot less effort, which again will just flood the hiking content on YouTube and will make it harder and harder for small content creators like me to be able to compete with it. Part of the reason why I'm so pessimistic about AI generated content being on YouTube is TikTok. All you have to do is go on that app and scroll for a little bit, and I can almost guarantee you will find some AI generated content on there. And what's even more scary is it's so hard to tell the difference. Like, I could be sitting here right now making this video in this horrible windy weather, and I think it's going to rain as well, but you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference because it looks so real and it feels so real, and they've got the voice and then the looks and everything, and someone can just make content that looks and feels real. And at that point, like, who cares if it's AI or not, because the viewer probably won't care because to them it's real, which is pretty scary. And TikTok is just flooded with that nowadays. Now, they did add in this little thing where you have to click a button that says this is AI generated, which means that the viewer knows it's AI, which I think is good because it means the viewer at least knows that they're watching not a real person and they can distinguish between the two. But then I found out that you don't actually have to click it. So there's people out there making AI content and putting it up, and they don't even need to say that it's AI. So it's basically a pointless button. And who's to say if AI content gets put on YouTube, they don't just do the same thing? Maybe they won't care as well because it's getting them more views, it's getting them more clicks, it's getting them more ad revenue and things like that. So yeah, TikTok has not been a good example. It's not encouraging. And yeah, who's to say that YouTube doesn't go down the same path? So the title of this video says that this might be the end of my hiking channel on YouTube. And that's partly true and partly not true as well. I'm still going to continue to make videos and put them up on YouTube because I feel like I've built up a community. You guys enjoy the videos and I enjoy making the videos, so I will continue to make them. But there might become a point in the future, I'm not sure how far away, maybe a year, maybe two, maybe never, that I stop making videos. And I've thought a little bit about when that might be. And I think it'll be when YouTube starts to push AI generated content on the platform. I'm not aware that they have done that yet, but that wouldn't be ideal because, as I say, they make more extreme content and they'll be able to make more extreme content and more frequent, and I might just not be able to keep up, to be honest. Also, if the algorithm stops pushing out channels like mine that are authentic because it's boring in comparison to this AI generated content, because again, I just won't be able to keep up, and it's probably not going to be worth making videos if it's not getting shown to anyone. So yeah, I do have a pretty pessimistic outlook on it all, but I think a lot of other YouTubers are thinking the same thing. It might end up becoming the case that we can't make videos anymore because we just can't keep up with AI. So I've thought a little bit about what YouTube can do and what viewers can do to sort of limit the damage of AI for authentic content creators, more specifically in the outdoor camping and hiking niche of YouTube. And I've noted down some of my best points. Let me know if you agree with some of these. So YouTube could add a button that needs to be pressed so that the viewer knows it's an AI generated video. So I've stolen that from what TikTok did, but I think if they made it that it was mandatory for every bit of AI content, then that would mean at least the viewer knows when they're watching this video that it's not a real video, and maybe they'd watch it differently or support it differently. I don't know, but I think that would be a good thing to add. They could also just ban AI generated content. Maybe that's what they're planning on doing, and this video is pointless. But I don't think so somehow, because it brings a lot of viewers to their platform. But if they banned it, then I suppose that would just sort the problem instantly. You'd only have authentic creators, and yeah, it wouldn't be a problem. They could also create a separate space for AI videos. I think this would be a decent idea. It wouldn't even need to be like a separate app or a separate website, just like a separate part that you sort of click on if you want to watch AI generated content, and then if you want to watch authentic content, then you can click on a separate part. I think that would be good, just to distinguish between the two, and yeah, I think that would make it a little bit better for content creators. YouTube could also push the smaller channels who may be affected by AI, like my channel and lots of other hiking channels, and that way we're still getting out into the algorithm, we're still getting views, we're still able to relate with other people who want to watch authentic content. I think that would be a good way to do it. Struggling to speak here, man, I'm still a little bit ill. But yeah, I think those are the main things that YouTube could do to limit the effects of AI. So what could the viewers do to limit the damage that AI has on content creators? Well, I think they could just choose to not watch AI content, which I think is easier said than done, because I can't lie, some of it is pretty funny, and because it's so extreme, it is quite cool to see. I don't really like it, to be honest, and I'd rather it's not there, but I suppose you can't really stop people watching it. But that is one way that it could go. People just refuse to watch the AI content on YouTube. They sort of take a stand because they want authentic content creators. And the most important thing is, I think they just need to support authentic content creators. And I know I'm sort of preaching to the wrong people, because a lot of my viewers do like to watch authentic content, and they probably hate all this AI stuff as well. But I think now more than ever, content creators on YouTube need the support. So yeah, if you've not liked this video already or subscribed, then please do that, because it would very much help me out. So my final thoughts on AI are, it's pretty pessimistic outlook, but I'm a little bit worried, to be honest, because this is the main way that I make money right now. I don't know if it will be in the future, but it is right now. I could effectively lose my job. And maybe in a year or two time, I'll be looking back at this video thinking, why was I so worried? I'm being stupid, just overthinking about something that isn't really much of a problem. Or maybe I'll be saying, I underestimated the impact of AI, and wow, it's actually done a lot more than I thought it was going to do. I think it's going to be the latter of the two, to be honest, if any of them. But I'm still going to keep making these videos because I enjoy making them, and hopefully you enjoy them as well. Sorry if this video's been a little bit pessimistic, but that's just my thoughts on AI right now and the whole YouTube situation. Hopefully YouTube has a good outlook on it, and they don't want AI generated content on their platform. But like I've said, if it's going to drive more people to their platform and get them more money, which I think is what it's all about, then yeah, who's to say they don't just welcome the AI content? But yeah, oh well. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video anyway. Hopefully you've taken something from it. Let me know what your thoughts are on AI and this whole YouTube situation. Let me know if you think it's a load of rubbish or if you quite like it. Let me know if you think it's going to be a problem or not. But yeah, from me and this pretty uncomfortable log, or tree, sorry, and pretty horrible weather. I think it's meant to rain quite heavily for the whole afternoon, so I think I'm going to get out of this. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll hopefully see you next week for a proper adventure. And yeah, I think this is the last video before Christmas, so have a good Christmas and have a happy new year as well. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one for a proper adventure. Let's go.